One. Hey, microphone check. 1, 2. What is this? The Black Super Friends are back in business. Hey, welcome to season 1, episode 11 of the Black Super Friends. I am tonight's host, The Horace Towns. Hey, I'm wearing some of the latest apparel. We're doing some brand shopping right now, but the Black Super Friends is turning into a major commodity. So we'll talk about that later. So first off, I want to introduce my illustrious cast that I call my best friends, also the Black Super Friends. I'm starting off at the bottom with Super Mario 561, who was recently traded from the Dallas Cowboys to the Minnesota Vikings.
Lies. This is for Teddy Bridgewater because he's from the crib. This is for Teddy. I'm a Dallas. I might be revoked because of this. Hey, I want to say one thing, Tootie, before you go to everything. I want to from the Black Super Friends and from everybody. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Wow.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Horace.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, my brother. Happy birthday, my brother. And we're a late birthday.
Yeah.
Listen. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. I appreciate it. I got on shade, so you have no idea the condition of my eyes.
Let me hear your voice.
This is a special birthday, definitely indeed. If I'm here, I will share some things with you guys, but it's BSF forever. Know that for sure. As I go on with my introductions here, I'm going to the ladies' man at the bottom. Hello, sir.
My brother.
Okay. Yeah, who is not wearing BSF apparel tonight, but we will let it slide.
We're doing Infinity Taxes and beyond, multifaceted. So we got several different things we're going to bring to the forefront.
Black-owned business.
Black-owned business. You better believe it.
Okay, we're going to charge you for that commercial. Most definitely.
Put it on my account.
All money in, no money out.
No money out.
No money out. And the next person is the amazing Zing Chris.
That would be King Chris, spelled incorrectly on purpose.
We do this every week, and I have to battle with my public school upbringing because I see us there. So I didn't know what dialect that it comes from. So
okay,
part of me from.
I got a question.
Yeah.
When you hear that, who is that rapper with the colorful hair that snitched on everybody? What's his name?
Isaiah.
Oh, I think his name is I think his name is 6ix9ine. And every time we pronounce his name, even though it has sixes and it has a 6 and a 9 in it, we seem to be able to say it for him. So I think we can do it for me. That's King Chris spelled incorrectly on purpose. Thank you. Moving forward, please.
Well, we're bringing new language to the broadcast. Okay.
No problem.
Okay. Well, you know what, guys? Since we've become a trending podcast around the nation and we're in different markets now, I do want to come up and be more proactive. We have another rib sponsor, and I would like for anybody in the healthy vegan industry to reach out to us. We would love to promote your brand. So tonight, I feel irresponsible, but it's a Black-owned business. Tonight's Black-owned business is Whining Willie's Ribs.
Oh.
Where the motto is, Willie says, with meat this sweet, why would I compete? Why Willie?
Sweet meat Willie.
Sweet Willie. Oh shit. Okay.
Damn.
Gotta check out Sweet Meat.
Yeah. Well, you check it out for me. Listen. All right, guys.
Might have to recant that statement.
Yeah, buddy. Listen. With the recent events, we're having an era that's similar to the with the movie coming out, Jesus, was it Judas and the Messiah? I think that's the name of the movie.
Yeah, Black Messiah. Yeah.
We're currently experiencing the Black Lives Movement, where the crusade for social justice, we fight on for Breonna Taylor, and the era where we are raging against police brutality. Here's a valid question. In the midst of our Blackness, this is a valid question because we have different topics that are tossed around, And then I don't know if we really fully explore the definition of it. And pro-black is one of the things that a lot of people use freely, saying I'm pro-black, I'm pro-black. But I don't know if we really know what pro-black by definition means. Pro-black is to definitely be about the advancement of blackness at all costs, meaning black man, black woman, black kids, black wealth, black advancement, black education, black liberation, black empowerment. So the question that was trending this week was, can you be pro-black and date outside your race? Can you be pro-black and have a white husband or wife, girlfriend? Can you be pro-black and have a Spanish Asian mate? So I think it's a valid question that we need to explore. I want to go to the king up top. Let's go to Chris first.
Okay, well, this is a bit of a sensitive subject for me because I have friends who are in interracial relationships. And me, myself, I have to say that I have partaken in the forbidden fruit. So to answer but I like to answer the question. Yeah, I like to answer the question the way it's said to me at face value. Can you be pro-black and date interracially? Well, first I have to define pro-black. The best way to define pro-black is by the definition. The definition of pro is favoring or supportive of. And black, I think we can both agree that we're not talking about the color, we're actually talking about the people. So by definition, you have to be favoring or supportive of black people. And simply by definition, you can be in any kind of relationship you want, and you can be pro-black, as long as you're favoring or supporting of black people. So you can also be black, Latino, white, Asian, whatever, as long as you're supporting and favoring of black people. Now, I've heard different arguments about this, and it's polarizing on both sides. Some people believe that you can, some people believe that you can't. But I want to give you my personal opinion. My personal opinion for black men to be pro-black is, first, you must raise and support a black family with a black woman. Period. Now, second, now let's say you don't. You're already in a interracial relationship. Second, you must practice black economics. Meaning you must buy black, hire black, and generally support black. And third, you must have a love, respect, and compassion for black people. Now, us as black men, we need to live by the code of unless our life is in danger, there is no reason for us to murder another black man. We only here to uplift and support other black men. And if we can't do that, we should just leave them alone. Now, as far as the black woman, we should increase our respect for black women. Now I understand that respect can go both ways and up and down or whatever. And it varies from case to case. So here's a rule of thumb. I think that what we should do is we should never have physical or verbal abuse to black women. There's no need for it. Two, if we procreate life with a black woman, then we are responsible for taking care of that life. And three, I believe that when you come into a black woman's life, you're coming to add value, not take or decrease value from her life. So if we follow those three steps, I personally believe that's the best way you could be pro-black. Tudor, what you think?
Well, I'm going to give some insight and hope that I don't offend, but I've had this conversation on many podcasts that I've done. The interesting aspect, and my only concern, I'm always big on you love who you love. But at the same time, we do have to recognize that there is a war on the black family. There's been a war on the black man. There's been a war on the black woman. The most unprotected, unappreciated person is the black woman, the creator of all civilization. And so, in the midst of us saying love and being trendy, the question that I've had with some of the most high profile relationships was, and OG had to bring this to my attention, how do you advance? In America's about advancing. It's about power, and money is power, right? And the thing that we have been getting left behind on in a lot of instances is generational wealth, which we have not been able to go generation to generation. Most time somebody dies and we're left with a bill, as compared to other ethnicities who prepare for death. Everyone knows it's coming, and they have a plan where, grandpa's going to die. He has insurance where he's going to leave the house to one kid, leave money to another kid. There's trust funds in place, even a car and college funds. And we have not grasped that yet. So when I see a situation like Serena Williams, I understand Serena says she had problems dating men of color. Eddie Murphy, Dirk Nowitzki, these are all people that are multimillionaires. Even some of our most prolific Black leaders that are fighting for Black causes are married and are in interracial relationships. I can't think of the guy. I just went blank. Frederick Douglass and the married white woman. So my concern has always been the advancement and where the generational wealth has been cut off. So when it comes to pro-Blackness, the X factor is that husband or wife going to take on a pro-Black agenda? Because whether they are accepted or not, whether we call them, what's the jokes about being a mulatto, yellow, whatever, at the end of the day, the hatred and prejudice side of this world is going to see them as Black. For years, that 1/4 drop rule, if you had any Black in you, meant you was Black. So when I see Serena, who's married to a very successful man, she may be happy. How are you going to raise that child that's going to be treated as a Black person? Are you teaching that child Black culture? Are you teaching that child to work with their culture? Because a lot of times people get money and we run away from our Blackness. It's the illusion of inclusion. I got money, I'm not Black. OJ said it. I'm not Black, I'm OJ. So my problem is always, how is that culture? If I have a white wife and she's raising Black kids, which is a challenge, especially doing hair and stuff that simple Black mothers will understand, will she teach my child to be proud of being a Black woman? Or is she going to try to teach that child that you're half white, half Black, and have her confused and have her battling her identity her whole life? Because a lot of people battle with that. So when you have these rich people, the blueprint for this is a Black man, Black woman who are going to have Black kids, and they're going to advance. And that's going to translate into more opportunities in the Black community, more Black leadership, more good Black examples for other families to see, a strong Black family. So when I see mixed families, my X variable is always, what identity will they be taught? Because you've had Tiger Woods, you have different people say, I'm whatever Kate, no, you're Black. And when he got arrested, they showed him what color he was. So those are my concerns. Zay.
I was just gonna feed off of what you were saying with Tiger Woods. I remember when he did the Masters and he didn't want to join up or be considered as Black. And I think that comes from him knowing that Black, in the terms of slavery time, when whatever they noted as Black was nothing. And he knows that information and always say knowledge is power. So he aligned himself with people of color versus Black, which is rough, because that's already starting the trend that you're saying about how are you going to raise that individual. So when we ask, can you be pro-Black and can you date outside the race? The first thing that comes to my mind is no. But I don't want to be crass. I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm just going to tell you, the way that I feel. And I forgot that even Frederick Douglass was married to a white woman, which says a whole lot because he was a freedom fighter. But
after a Black woman, though.
There you go. So see, that also needs to be put into place. But the thing that I was going to come and say is inside of love itself, love is blind. So you don't know who you're going to love. However, when you're talking about being for Black, like you said, it does come a time where you do have to pick the side of the line and be on it. So most of the times individuals, they go with their skin color. It's just because it's what you resemble, it's what you represent. It's almost the reason why, like now with America, people are, oh, I'm an American, and they want to look away from the shame that America has and just highlight the fact that they're American. White people do it, white people do it. We say Black power, they say white power. When they say white power, we tend to call out their races, but we say Black power as well. It's just the love that we have for our mankind that looks just like us. That's all that it is. But I don't think that. I really just don't think that you can be fully, because if you're saying that I'm for black advancement, that means you need a black woman in order to create more black children, which is going to essentially create more black people. So that one for me is hard. I feel you, and I love the fact that you love, but I don't rightly say that you can tell me that you are for black if that's the choice you made. And I could be wrong. How you feel about it, Hart?
All y'all made some great points. I'm gonna say first, I started off the same way Chris did. I looked into the definition of what pro did. I looked in the Urban Dictionary. I looked in a couple more things, and I seen the same thing. Pro-black is the supporting and favoring of black. So then the word favoring stood out to me in that one. Then it said example was one who puts the good of their people above any other race. So good above their people, above any race. So I look at the wording of these things. So that's the definition of it. So then I took into consideration what Tony said about, because I really feel that about right now when you have a child, it's the whole point of being pro-black is you keeping it economically sound into creating generational wealth. Like, so I'm focused on blacks having black stuff, getting black business and growing the black dollar at all time high. But the only way you can do that to me is you keep it in the black community. So then I had to question myself. Once Tudor did again, I'm gonna go back to what he said is, if I did have a mate, first of all, I had to say, how could I be? Because I wanted to say, is it possible? So then I had to say, well, maybe it is possible. If I'm agreeing with Horace again, if your mate has a strong black agenda, so that means you're gonna have to raise our children as if they're black, because I need them to understand the black dollar. That means you're gonna have to be okay with putting all our money in a black bank. You're gonna have to be okay with all our grocery going to a black store. You're gonna have to be okay with. So that means you have to be almost essentially segregate yourself to some sort, because my culture is gonna come first in all costs. And I think that's a lot to ask anybody, because that's when you get into those points, like Zay said, when Tiger Woods and those people. OJ is a different story, but when Tiger Woods, I want to stay on that. When Tiger Woods said, I'm not black, because he had the right to say that, because he had parents who he loved, and I'm pretty sure aunts and uncles who he loved who wasn't black, who he respected and loved too. So it was almost a slap in their face to not recognize them.
Right.
But you don't have that problem when you have the whole part of you is one thing. So then it gets no communication there. And the last thing I had to think about is, what is the biggest thing any man does in their life? Is the biggest sacrifice of commitment is asking a woman to marry. So right now, because you take on a position of a leader, so that means I know about my wife, I'm willing to lay down and die. I'm willing to work major jobs, do whatever I can for my family. So then I understand the uplifting of that black woman is going to be reciprocated to my kids, because they're going to see black love, which is going to make them feel strong about themselves and understand that the stereotypes that's been told out there in the world do not
true.
So I had to understand, and I thought about that too, because once then what Zay said is you can't help who you love. And I'm never going to tell nobody not to love, because like Chris, I have friends who have interracial partners, and they're amazing to me, super amazing. But then that doesn't negate that you're not a strong black person. I just have to end up saying, no matter how strong you are for the cause, and for the cause, like Franklin Douglas, I would have to always come back to him and say, I don't think you were pro-black. Because to me, and I may be wrong, like you said, to me, pro-black means black comes before all. So if black comes before all, that means a black woman, a black bank, a black grocery store, a black everything come before all. And it's hard for me to tell me that when you're looking for a black woman first, that you can't find one. When you're looking for a black bank, you can't find one. When you're looking for a black car dealership, you can't find one. But if you're right, if you're just looking for self first to make yourself happy, then I'm pretty sure it's a lot of banks gonna make you happy. It's a lot of women can make you happy. It's a lot. You see what I'm saying? But if you have a pro-black agenda, I believe you're gonna line yourself with stuff that's gonna keep it real tight knit on being black above everything else. And that's what I got from that.
Well, see, like I said, I've heard polarizing arguments on this situation. I've heard Dr. Umar Johnson speak similar to what you're saying. You can't be. But then I hear another guy that I like, Killer Mike, he speaks highly about allies in the fight for equality. So again, Personally, I like to go by the definition. You went deeper into the definition, but I took it at the definition as face value, favoring and supportive of. And I think that if you are favoring and supportive of black, then you can be pro-black in any color, shape, or form.
All righty. Okay. Well, the interesting part is I can't wait to the last topic, but tonight, and I'm gonna tell you how this topic came about. During the last couple of episodes, we've talked about different people's dynamics and relationships, right? And I was speaking with a young lady who asked me to go out on a date. I've been public about saying my first date with anybody is you can either give me a phone call, but I prefer that, hey, let's have a FaceTime call or IG call, but let's have a conversation over video. I see you, you see me. That eliminates catfish for one, but let's have a conversation. It doesn't require me going out to Red Lobster, Carrabba's, or anything, because for a single man, that gets to be very expensive. That person said, well, we had an awesome conversation, but I don't consider that to be a date. A date to me is if you're trying to pursue me, you need to take me out to dinner and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, we don't have the same definition of a date. So that conversation turned into a Twitter trend. So I asked you guys tonight, what is considered a date? What are y'all definition of a date as a man? What is the definition of a date? I'm gonna go to okay. Well, I had Mario.
Yeah,
Mario,
yeah, I got you. Well, to me, a date, I'm a hands-on, I'm an interactive, face-to-face kind of person. So to me, you're right. In this word, I had to look up this. I'm saying I had to look up this too because I believe that you can. When you first said it, I was like, man, of course we all know what a date is, but really nowadays you don't really know what a date is because you're right. The whole catfish thing exists because people do feel like you can date over the phone without having any physical interaction. And to me, that just is absurd right there. All right. Now I believe that anytime I get with a woman and then we go to any kind of place and we get to know each other on any level, to me that's a date. If I take you somewhere and we get to have a communication and we get to have a good time, hang out, enjoy each other's company, catch a vibe, to me that's a date. It doesn't have to be no stipulation on eating or movies or any kind of venue. It just said it could be us walking in the park, getting to know each other. As long as we are feeling each other's vibes, getting a good acquaintance with each other, to me that's a date. That's the beginning of dating to me. But nowadays you'll see that a lot of people define dating a lot different than I did when I started researching what is a date, because I have to always go back to the catfish thing. I could never see myself getting catfish, and I had to understand why. It's because I'm a physical person, so I have to be around you just to even feel your aura. So to me, it has to be an interactive set up meeting for us. It don't have to be no stipulation on where we're going or anything like that, but it just have to be agreed upon meeting, and then day or night. And I think that's a date to me.
Okay. So I'm probably right behind you in that one there, Hard, because at any given time that I agree to meet up with you and we're about to interact physically, whatever it is, like you said, just getting to know each other, just spending some time, that is a date. That is a date. You know, I've had this question or had this posed to me before where individuals say, well, if you're not taking me anywhere, then, or, you know, spending money on me, then that ain't no date. That's just a meetup or that's just hanging out. That's your definition. That don't necessarily mean, you know, you have some women that are very, very simple. Like you said, that picnic, which is very underrated, but it's one of the best feelings in the world because you really did something for a meager amount of money, but you got a whole bunch of me time in and you got to learn that individual. That's a date. And that's what it boils down to. It's not all about the expensive dinners, the Ruth Chris's or the Morton's or whatever other steakhouse that you choose to go to, or the expensive bags and shoes or the shopping spree. That's not a date. That's a sponsorship. Either you know what I'm saying, somebody need to sponsor you because you're hungry, or somebody need to sponsor you because you're homeless or naked or something to that. But that's definitely not a date. So you know, My boy Future. He said chicken wings and fries, and he don't go on there.
Dates.
What do you think about it, Chris?
Oh, well, since we talk about dates,
date doctor.
Put on my date doctor. Okay.
Oh,
well, here's the thing.
I got my wine.
Okay, here's the thing. I believe I somewhat agree with you guys that I believe that anything can be a date, but I also think that we need to rethink and reevaluate dating as a whole. I think that we as men need to be a lot more creative. Now, I speak highly because of the COVID. I speak highly on home-based dating. I believe if you can have a home-based business and you can work from home, then you can date from home. In a previous show, I spoke about my Netflix and chill date, where you basically turn it into Netflix and chill into a actual date where you pop the popcorn, you do the nachos, you send her a digital ticket, etc. I want to get that makes it easier to smash. But I actually want to give some more tips on dating. A lot of dates are like food based, like where you go out to restaurants. How about you look up a recipe, or both of you guys look up a recipe, you get the ingredients, and she comes over and you guys cook it. Now, notice I didn't say you cook it, and notice I didn't say she cook it, because I believe that dating should be an exercise in compatibility and being able to work with. Because that's what you're basically trying to do. You're trying to have the most effective date, not because it's not about the venue or the menu, it's about you. Now, me personally, another tip, I drive a pickup truck because of my business. That's King Services, private pickup and delivery. If you got the buck, I got the truck. We pick up in a pickup. But let's just say you have a pickup, right? Here's a scenario. You go pick her up. You go get some great takeout. You drive to one of the highest buildings in your city, overlooking the city. Back the truck up. When you get out, put a blanket down, get you a speaker, get you some wine, take that takeout, and you guys have a date overlooking the city. That's why I believe that you can turn anything into a date, but you have to be more creative. We have to rethink it. Boris, what you got?
Yes, that sounds like chicken and dick, and that don't sound like Netflix and chill, my guy.
I understand that, but look, we play to win the game. We play to win the game.
You have a mattress in the back of that truck, sir.
Not a mattress, a blanket. We're having a pseudo picnic. You feel me?
Quick on your feet. You quick on your feet.
You feel me?
Well, listen, the thing is, Chris, you said something in an earlier episode that you're trophy guys. You pretty much said, all of us are the single ones are in a position where we're professionals. We got our own everything. So compared to what's in the dating pool, we are dateable. You know what I mean? Yeah. So my point is, for the ratio of 20-1 men or whatever it is in your region, if a man, I'm saying that a man, I think that me, and this has been my thing. I got in trouble when I used to have the forum. At the forum, I love to cook. I love to clean. And I was kind of thrifty. I won't say cheap. I'll bring them in, cook, amazing. Let them kick off their feet, chill, get to know me. That was a dangerous little rope there, because then it was like, girl, he cooked for me. Oh my God, he really into me. No, I was just being responsible. But
he was a man and you ain't know it.
Yeah, I was a man. But
no, her man.
The best date I ever had was at the waterfront, and I just sat out there for hours talking on the waterfront. I'm just saying to ladies to be open. If you're really into me, let's connect before I got to go out here and do my 2 for $20, or 'cause I don't eat that. So we're gonna eat good, but I think it's fair for me to say, hey, let me see you, because I done had some auditions that were horrible. But let me see you. Let me see you. Let's have a conversation. That way we don't waste each other's time, because all of us in the later years, we're all busy. So back in the days, it just seemed like a chick knows she was into me. I take her to Carrabba's, smash. Well, So is it really? Sometimes I have to question, like, is it just you want to smash, but you want a good meal? Not to say, not for you to feel like, oh, I just smashed for nothing. So I have some questions to this. I'm saying connect. I talk to you, you get to talk to me. We see where you're at, because it gets expensive for the bachelors out here. And then it's a COVID era. So we have to be responsible. But that goes back into my next question. When you're that dude, a lot of times a chick knows whether she's going to smash you or not. The 90-day rule, we had a conversation about that about a week ago. So
useless rule.
Amazing. The 90-day rule has been nothing but pure hypocrisy. So again, me saying, let's FaceTime, we chat. But there's been situations where you've had a female, especially on online dating, say, if you only here for sex, I'm not here for that. And the reality is, the first time you meet them, she like, listen, it's been a long time, just something about you. And it's like, smash. So what do you think? And I got to reword that. I got to go back to the question, make sure I word it. I got to make sure I word this right with you guys tonight. So you have to bear with me, fellas, because I don't want no tomatoes being thrown at the screen tonight because I didn't do it right. Okay. All right, hey man, listen. Well, fuck it. What do y'all think of sex on the first date?
Oh, okay.
What do you mean? How do you feel about the woman? You mean?
No. How do you feel about a woman if she has sex on the first date?
Okay. A lady, in the words of Shanae, she's a lady.
How do you feel about a woman if she has sex on the first date? Date doctor, please. This is your expertise.
All right. Well, thank you for the compliment. What I like to say is this: I feel the same way about sex on the first date is the same way I feel about abortion. Her body, her choice. What kills me is that when men will invest money into taking a woman out, probably getting drinks that lower her inhibitions, inviting her back to his crib, initiating sex, successfully having sex, and then judge the woman. It ain't like she initiated sex with you, you initiated sex with her, and now you're judging her. On the woman's side of that, I find it perplexing that women go on dates, order drinks to lower their inhibitions, go back to a man's place, have sex with him, and then judge him. I've heard things like, "Oh, you must do this with all the women. You nasty." So it is crazy to me. But what's the most ironic thing is that I think it's our relationship that we have with sex. We have the same relationship that we had when we was teenagers. We still think it's taboo. We still have trouble talking about it. We still don't want to admit that everybody's doing it. You should see some of my inboxes when I simply speaking about consensual sex between two adults. You would think that I talked about people's mama or something like that. So what I would say is, I done seen women that will commit every single sin in the Bible except for having sex with you before marriage. Now, here's the thing. The most craziest thing to me is this. We would rather believe in love at first sight than smash at first night. And that's crazy to me, because here's the thing. There's no condom for love. And if you catch that shit, you're going to be quarantining for the rest of your life. Zay, talk to him.
My brother, I'm right back to right where you at. Me and you on the same beat. You got two consensual adults that had a great night. Why not pop it with fireworks? I don't feel as if, I'm just saying, I don't feel as if it's anything wrong with it. You understand what I'm saying? It is spoken of in a negative tone. As we grew up, all this taboo sex, taboo sex talk. But the craziest part about all of that was, our predecessors had mountains of kids, 10, 11, 7 kids in a one. There was a whole bunch of sex and going on. I'm gonna keep it, you know what I'm saying? that way. But if a woman has sex with you on the first night, it doesn't make her one way or the other. Just like if a woman waits 90 days to have sex with you, you could wait 90 days for absolute and total trash and feel like you wasted your entire time. Or you could one night it and she could feel like she wasted her time and probably never call you back. It don't make you one way or the other. But one thing that you said that I definitely frown upon is the guys who did all of the things that they needed to do to hit the field goal, like you call it, score that field goal on the first night, and then go through all the trouble to try and make that woman look like she's less than. I think that actually says more about that gentleman. He had low self-esteem or low belief in himself that he could even pull that off. And I don't even think that it was a hat trick that he pulled off. It was just that you guys had a vibe. You guys are adults. Y'all looked at each other. That gleam was in your eye. And you was like, "Go for it. Can I go there?" She said, "Yeah." And
do it.
That's right. So I think that's a beautiful thing. But again, you have to change how you think to accept that. Others will say, "Oh no, I can't do that," like you said, and "Oh, you're nasty." But you're gonna be nasty at some point. You might as well get it out the way, eat the frog, get it over with. What you got, Heart?
Well, first of all, that's a great question. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say this right here. I think this is a whole bunch of bull because I think this. Most people have sex quicker than they appear to act to their peers to have sex. Let's get that. And then that's this whole 1970s way of looking at women is out the door too. Let's get that shit out. Because I know a lot of dudes who have fucking been with women for 10 years and they smash on the first date. So let's start acting like if you smash a girl on the first date, you just throw her away. And women, let's stop acting like if he hits the first day and you think that he does that all the women, that doesn't incite you. If you're a sex shit, we all grown here. I hear every woman I've known said this. When she first meets a man and she gets around him, she knows if she's gonna have sex or not. So that means if women consistently say that means there's only two reasons why you wouldn't have sex. It's one reason you're gonna be an adult by this subject and then going into it, or you want to play a game and want to wait the 90-day rule, worry about what other people say, do all kind of, just worry about the perception of others. But I believe if you on a date and everything going good and y'all feeling each other, y'all vibing, y'all connecting, and then two adults consensually have sex, it's just going to be another night of, hello, can I talk to you again? Do you want to go? Do you want to go here? Because there's a lot of women who I've had sex with on the first night. It end up being months and months and months, and we end up being dating. But that whole premise is that, if you fuck her the first night, she a hoe. Bro, that's like no grown man talks like that. None.
Hardy, I remember, before we go to do that, I remember you said something to me a long, long time ago, and it stuck with me for till now. You said I talked to all of my uncles, and ain't none of them say the word hoe or bitch. Never talking about women. Never. And that I didn't understand it completely then, but as I grew up, I understand it now. Look, that's all that hoe and bitch and all that stuff there. That's a young man's game. Right. That's a young man game. I'm almost 40 years in the game. I don't got no time for that. I really don't. But
because it's not an accomplishment no more. At the end of the day, when you were little, it was an accomplishment to act like you get a notch on your belt. So then you had to do something to build yourself up and tear the other person down. But when you grow, you understand, especially if you're a man who understands how this world looks, you understand you did nothing great for her to give her
to give you
mediocre at best. She chose to give you her body, and then you were just a recipient. That's it. Any man who all these players and all this milk to this, I talk to her. You can't talk a woman out her drawers. You can't finesse it. You can't. She wanted to have sex with you, and you just fucked it up. That's all it is. You went through the date and didn't fuck up her perception of what she thought you was gonna be, and then you walked into something. That's just and then sometimes in life, that's just a great thing. But start acting like, oh, you was such a marvel man and all this kind of stuff like that because you didn't do nothing. She wanted to open her body up to you. You received it, and then that's where you went from it. So then to degrade her, I feel like Chris, it's crazy to say, oh, she a hoe. Come on, bro. That for one, what does that say about you? Because if she was a hoe and she was a slut and you stuck your,
what were you? Yeah. There you go.
It's just crazy right there. That's why grown men don't talk like that. I have never heard grown men sit around and be like, "Yeah, I smashed her." Who gives a fuck?
Foolishness,
Did you how's your credit score? What's up, Chris? How's your business going? That's what we talk about. I don't care if you're supposed to have sex. You grown.
There you go. And the other thing I always think about old man told us on the tree, you know what I'm saying? That thing get hard, get wet like that thing get hard. So, once you know that it's just the same.
Hey, got it. Go ahead, Judy. Go ahead, Judy, for Teddy coming back.
The Decepticon.
Decepticon.
Listen, you know what? First off, I want to give a disclaimer because that is one of the most wrong. That's one of the biggest problems right now. The guys, I don't know if they never had sex or they lack immaturity or that's how they define their character or who they are. The guys that run out and talk about having sex with women and the women they conquered. I think that's one of the most bitch ass things that you can do. And it makes, builds insecurities, Second of all, I wanted to say that I took for granted something, maybe it was the insecurity. At some point, we were them dudes. I'm not saying we not now, but there was not a lot of effort put into, trying to date a woman. Women were coming for us, and Smash was not even a thing that you had to really work towards. Is an attraction. We're going to get to where we're getting. So maybe I was spoiled from college to, the early years, man. I always expected that attraction. So I really said before that anybody that I had sex with, it was less than 2 weeks, and I respected that. It was no love lost or no shade because hell, I wanted it too. Let's get to see what we got connection wise and move on. I hate the people that lie about it. Don't drag me out on the 90-day rule because I'm not going to be there. I play the role, but I'm not going to be there on the 90-day rule. However, I will say something that I did make a mistake before. Someone that I dated in the early years was so into me that she wanted to smash on the first night. And it took me a while to get over it because I was like, man, she really into me like that. So you do have your moments. But recently I had met somebody who was like, what do you think about premarital sex? I'm like, what you mean? I said, second of all, who said we get married? So yeah, you got the horse, the cart before the horse. So I think I respect people at this age, man, especially with the difficulties of people connecting and chemistry and all that stuff. Man, go ahead. If you really have that in you, hey, I say do it because I hate the people that lie. There's some closet people. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And you just personally know, like, you all out here, be you. We're adults and live your life. So I'm not passing judgment. Just don't pass no judgment on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking at these comments though. It's somebody in these comments that made me wait over a month. So they shouldn't be they shouldn't be liking shit. So whatever.
My dog.
Let's move on.
That's hilarious. Hey, listen. So I'm getting to the meat and potatoes tonight, right? This is the meat and potatoes that I want to preach on tonight because the trending thing in the media for the last year, maybe 2 years, and there's so many facets to this story that we needed to tackle. We may have to tackle it more than one time. And I've seen so many women from Black Twitter to Facebook and social media trend this story. And the article that I read today was saying why Ciara and Russell Wilson are the ultimate couple in their life goals. Why did I have a problem with that? I had a problem with that because the trending story is always talking about Ciara. So much credit is given to Ciara, and people say, oh, what Ciara prayer was. Lord, I need that prayer. I need to get me a Russell Wilson. And I'm not even going to get into that maliciously, but there's a problem with that. You know why? Because we're painting Ciara to be the savior in that relationship. Like she went into Russell Wilson's life and just changed him. And, they had this fantasy and fairy tale relationship. And that's the goal. But a lot of people, you got to evaluate yourself. See if you're a Ciara. Some people are more Ciara than they realize once we get into the conversation. But they don't give Russell Wilson enough comment. What was Russell's prayer? Because the reality is Ciara was just coming off a relationship with Future, who, to my understanding, I still think she does love the guy. It's something about Ghetto D. But when we go back to Russell,
I think he was talking about dope too.
Hey man, listen. So when you go to Russell, let's talk about Russell in this situation. Russell was the millionaire. Russell's the successful man, but people leave out the parts where Russell was the one that went to Ciara and said, slow it down. Russell was the one that said, let's do it the Jesus way. Russell's the one that said, God said, I need to lead this woman. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because to be honest, Ciara's been a habitual L train. She's been on a lot of dates, a lot of relationships, and they all fit a certain profile. And then you come to Russell, who's, you know, the successful guy, chill guy, but no one ever talks about how Russell said, I want to build with you. I want to lead you. I want to come from a religious aspect, similar to what Mario preaches all the time, to say, let's do it right. I know what you've been doing before, but I need to slow you down. So you're pretty much saying, I know you've been out here, but let me put you in this quarantine for a minute and rebuild you so we can do it the right way and be blessed. So I wanted to ask two questions. Why? What is the hypocrisy in this relationship? Because about Russell's prayer. And what are y'all problems with this story? Because we can have many issues with that. We could talk about how Ciara got with the next guy, but she violated so many codes, and Russell unknowingly doing some bitch ass stuff by, you know, doing some baby daddy violations. We can talk about how she constantly talks about Russell, or where Russell made the comment, we don't need his money, you know, just comments that are all public. What are your thoughts on that relationship? I'm going to Mario first.
All right. So this is a lot down packed. So first of all, this is a deep subject because when Ciara, I listened to it again today just to hear, because if you've never seen it, you can go on YouTube and look at it. It's actually Lala Anthony talking to Ciara about how her and Russell got to be what it was, really how she got Russell. And so that right there started off as how she got Russell. Okay, so that's when, you know, I have a strong Bible background, so I have to believe that a man finds a good man because the man is the head and God he's the captain of the ship. So I have to go right there. But I'm gonna say this: the dangerous part of what Ciara is saying is because it seems like this: you can go have fun, mingle, hang out, do whatever you want, and then cry out to God, and then boom, God blesses you and gives you the man of your dreams. And that's all you got to do. When that's not fair. And that's irresponsible because a lot of women going to feel like they can live. And I'm not saying reckless, but Ciara, went, you know, she hung out in her younger days and she picked the wrong dude a bunch of times. And then she paints the picture that she cried out to God, and then God sent Russell, and then Russell came, and then boom, you see this. And I don't think that was the real the way it went. But if it did, then who? That's her thing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just telling you from me listening to it, that's what it kept, her and Lala on that, because that's where everybody's getting this from. That's what it kept saying. And that's just not how it works. And I don't want my little sister or any other woman to think that you can live reckless and then pray out to God, and then instantly you just get the man of your dreams. So here we go again. I had to understand, I listened to Russell, because Russell in the middle of the conversation said, hey man, nobody ever asked me what I prayed for. And I watch him go through his reasons of what happened. And this is what I took from it. First of all, Russell had a vision. Russell came into a situation. He had already left a marriage, and then, I don't know if he was married, that was his girlfriend, whatever it is. He had already met, and he said he was dating. So he said he had got to a point where he know he really wanted family, and he wanted to be a better person. And so he got to himself, and he wrote down 5 non-negotiables. And if anybody know me, I speak on this like it's law, because I believe if you real with yourself, it's some stuff that you just can't get over in life. And I feel like in order to have a partner, you have to let those people know this so they can have a realistic goal on seeing if they can fit that criteria to mesh with those. And I just believe that, because you can't bend on some stuff. If you bend on everything, then you're not being your true self. So I seen that Russell, first of all, he knew what he wanted. Then, second of all, he knew himself and he knew how he wanted to be loved. I look at him, say he was looking for a woman to love him like he seen his mom and dad. So even though you might not agree with his depiction of what he thought love was, in his head as a man,
it was.
Out before he started looking for a woman, he had a vision and he knew how he wanted to be loved. So he knew what was going to feel good to him, what he was going to take from love, and what he wanted from love. The third thing, he knew he wasn't going to settle. he put down the 5 things in his life that he just could not get over, and said, I'm sticking to them because I let go a lot of other stuff. But these 5 things are concrete. And I did the same thing, you know, and it's so crazy when I went back and looked at this. And I know Chris talked to me on in detail on this, and without even really paying attention to this, I did the same thing, because it's a journey of a man, of understanding yourself before you get into the relationship. And the last thing he said is, I needed a woman with faith, and that it took the room when she walked in, but she was faith driven. And see, I understand that in life right now, that you can't hold yourself accountable, because at some point I'm gonna be mad at her, she gonna be mad at me. At some point I'm gonna disappoint her, at some point she's gonna disappoint me. At some point I'm gonna be less than. At some point we might go into a relationship where we don't even like each other. But if you have something that you believe in together equally, that's deeper than what just you and her feel, then you can hold yourself accountable to what is law. See, I go by the Bible, and that's what my marriage is built off of. So that anytime me and my wife have any kind of dispute or difference, then we can go to the word and then see which one of us, or check or get some understanding. And I believe you need that, because you're going to have a point and she's going to have a point. But you always need a mediator. And there's no better mediator in the world than God himself. So I think the point about all this is saying that I believe that we put a lot of emphasis on Sierra, when I think we need to put more emphasis on men. So young men, I tell y'all that follow Russell in this detail. Know yourself first. Understand what you want, what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to sacrifice, and how you want to be loved. Then go out and look for a woman. And then when you get that woman, cherish her, understand what it took for you to get her, and understand how it'll feel if you lose her. And I think then you will be able to paint the picture of what we think Russell and Sierra is.
Yeah.
Chris.
That's a good point.
Well, look, Hardy is one of my oldest friends, and I appreciate everything he says, and so I take from that. But I'm not a Russell fan. I'm more of a Future fan, and I'm going to pass on this one because, again, I'm not a Russell fan. And Zay, what you got?
And you were on the same thing. You know, as we talked about this subject, we both started with the same exact thing. I am not a Russell Wilson fan. I am a Future fan. And both of us being children's fathers, we know that he broke some major rules. Even though he was on a good quest, bro, you did some major bro violation. You know what I'm saying? And said some things that are unnecessary that you need not say. So for me, it made me not even really follow that up. Besides the fact of everyone giving all this credit to Sierra. And I think when we were talking about it, I know, Mario, you didn't touch bases on it, but everyone seems to think that she went straight from Future into this holy grail of Russell Wilson. No, she crashed out a couple more times. She found a couple more hood dudes that just didn't pan out the way that Russell did. But when she got with Russell, everyone is quick to jump on the bandwagon. Oh, I need Sierra's prayer. Sierra's prayer was a hell of a prayer. Y'all just don't know it. It was Russell that was the glue. So now I got to go back with Chris, and what Chris always said. The man made the decision because he decided that this is how I want it. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And this is who I'm going to do it with. And he stuck to his guns. It had nothing to do with what she prayed for. She prayed, yeah, and then God helped her out, but she had to work toward that. That just wasn't gifted to her. And a lot of women have that misconception. We always talk about that. That it was just by some grace of God that she fell into this. No, she didn't. And it's crazy because as we were talking about this subject, you know, I was thinking about it. I was doing some spring cleaning, and
present Exhibit A.
Y'all, you know, this is who y'all. Hey, this all right. This all right. Y'all want her prayer, right? Mm-hmm. Look like she advertising, but I'm not one that's against her. I'm all for what they got, but quit digging her up to be more than what she was. That's all I'm saying. What you got on?
Let me say before Tootie, can I, if I can, just I don't like to interrupt, but let me say this.
It's your
you know, I had brought this up too, because I see what Future said, because I understand y'all talking about the child situation, how Russell came in and was taking care. Okay, and I'm a father, and my first daughter I didn't raise in my house, right? So I felt that, but I had to look deeper because I like to give people a chance. So you're right. On the surface, it looked like, now Russell, you're a real nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna come in there and do this, but then I had to understand what was going on behind the curtain. because I heard Future himself say, I don't blame Russell because Russell not cut from that cloth and he didn't understand.
They're real.
So I blame Sierra because Sierra understands the part of the hood that you don't have a new man around somebody's kid. So I had to understand your upbringing and where you from definitely helped. Like Russell was naive and totally just out of place when it came to raising. In his head, he was thinking, shit, God gave me this woman. She has a child. I'm going to go in and be the best dad and treat him like he's mine and show no difference. Not understanding this a process of, you as a man, you should go meet with that man. Y'all try to at least sit down and have a conversation, because one thing you don't want is a woman in the middle of two men having a relationship, because it can smooth everything out. Because we say what you want, women are emotional. So right now, two men with level heads can get involved in that. It cut down a whole bunch of bullshit. But I feel like, I'm not making excuses for Russell, that Russell didn't understand that blueprint. So when I heard Future give him a pass and say, hey, bro, he was lame. He don't really know. I had more respect for Future. God said, damn, Future took the high road in this, after, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying, damn, bro, I'm saying Cub, but Cub don't know what he's doing. But you knew. You should have said, this is my baby daddy. Hey, I think you might want to sit down with him. He want to sit down with you, because Sierra helped raise the 5 Future kids before her. Because let's not act like Future didn't have a lot of kids when she first got. So she knew Future was a good daddy. So all this painting that picture too. That's why I said there's so much you can break down in this. But I just wanted to say that
and just to kind of go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, my bad. I was just trying to say, I don't want anybody to think that I'm tearing Sierra down. I'm just simply saying to you guys that it wasn't the way that the media and how people have made it seem. Open your eyes, ask more questions. You know what I'm saying? And see, she's not perfect. Neither is he. So as we said, he made some mistakes, but so did she. They just came together, and that was God's way, I believe. But go ahead, Chris.
I see in the comments someone, Katina Peters, writes, y'all know Future wasn't not an adult enough to have that conversation. I say, here's a caveat to this. I have never been in that situation. I have never seriously dated a woman with kids. So all I can do is speculate on how I would handle a situation. How I would handle a situation is, if I'm going to be in any intimate setting with with another man's child alone, I have to talk to that man. I'm not sending my lady to talk to him. I have to do it. I have to tell him, hey, look, I got to check that temperature. This is what's going on. This is what she wants me to do, and I need to talk. I need to have a conversation with you. Now, if that man don't want to have that conversation, that's neither here nor there. The point is, as a man, I have a male respect for you. Especially if I'm with your child, before I take a fucking picture with your child and post it and do all that other stuff, I am going to have a conversation with you. And secondly, if it's my lady, this is my lady, because remember, we are always told about a package deal. A package deal doesn't stop with the kids. The package deal is with the baby daddy too. So what I'm saying is this: if I have a lady, I'm not going to have my lady complaining about another man in my house, especially if it's dealing with anything financial, when I am a fucking millionaire. I'm not going to have that. She's not going to be mad one day, come home, and now she's frustrated and not want to cook or smash or talk or something because of what another man did, especially pertaining to financially. And if it's about seeing them, if I love this kid that much, all you did, if he doesn't come see him, all you did was give me more time with the kid that I love. So for me, that's why I wanted to stay away from this. I wanted to hear what y'all got to say, because I'm just not a fan of that, completely. I understand what Future give him a pass, and it ain't even my situation, but I don't give him a pass, and I'm gonna always hold that shit against him for doing that. Forrest, what you got, man?
Oh, hey guys, welcome. Thank you.
What's going on?
Back into the conversation. I'll deal with you guys later. Hey, listen, the things that I took away from that relationship, I really have such a respect for Russell, even though he had some violations, but blame it to his upbringing. I did respect his stance. So I'm gonna get back to that in a minute. I really appreciate his stance. The fact that he came to the pot and said, hey, God said, this is the woman I need to lead, and him taking a position to say, you with me, I want to do it the Jesus way. That's his way. So the thing that was highlighted in the article was his consistency and his sternness, because when he went to talk about being celibate and taking their time, that was something that she had a problem with. She was battling with, and she admitted that. The thing that I got from that, I get it from Mario, and I've gotten a lot of that good takeaways from Russell. I never focused on that because I say right now, me getting my next marriage, my wife is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be amazing because reciprocity, you know what I mean? Me upping my reciprocity, giving, I'm going to be expecting back, but being more intentional on the leadership aspect, me being a man, me taking the helm, with God, being more intentional. But here's the X factor to that. Having a woman that you can lead. Having a woman that you can lead. Because a lot of women are running against the clock, want to be married and whatnot, but subconsciously, they're in the city girl era. And this era, everything is about entitlement. Dude has to take care of me. Dude should do X, Y, Z for me. But they don't take into consideration what is bestowed upon the man. For the stuff that you want, there's stuff that comes with you taking care of a man. It ain't just I get married and I just lay everything out and he takes care of me. You have to take care of that man as well. Definitely. That is the problem I have with it. So, especially in the city girl era, I see a lot of women comment more about, oh, he bought her this ring. Oh, he did this and he did that. All that stuff is stuff that he can do because he has money. But what about the things that he made in her life that was impactful? The things that were spiritually helping her grow. You know what I mean? The things that are going to help them go the long mile. Those are the things that I think is irresponsible from the female aspect when they buy up Ciara and they don't talk about Russell and they don't see what is required. The benefits she's getting now came with her taking some requirements, taking care of Russell. And that was the biggest thing that I had with that era. And I'm not mad with her because she popping kids out left and right. But again, Ciara was led by this guy. He's led by Russell. Similar to Mario, God is going to be the captain of our relationship. And that's something that I will go back and do. I'm going to go back and do now. Like, those times when it's hard, I'm disappointed or expectations are failed. Going to God and making sure you're listening to God to say, what should I do? Take some time off to actually tackle it from a spiritual aspect as compared to frustration or mental despair. So that is my biggest issue. And I just want the women to look at the relationship and say, she's getting those things, but go more with the fine-tooth comb to really analyze that relationship and just don't see the benefits. See really the dynamics of their relationship and see what it takes and what was the dynamic. Because a lot of parts of that article talked about the abstinence, talked about working through some things because, yeah, she had been through a lot of dudes and he was totally different from what she was dating. And part of her still subconscious was rebelling because at first she tried to change him into the other dudes. So those are the facts that have a problem with.
I'm glad you brought that up too.
I agree with that. I see people in the comments asking some questions, and let me if I got time to at least address some of the questions about. I see a lot of people saying that Future wasn't mature enough. He wasn't ready to have that question. I feel like that's irresponsible to even say because I don't think you can even put something into a man until you try. Like you're right. I've talked to women. And they baby daddy didn't want to have nothing to do with me. They fuck that. I don't want to talk to them. Cool. I tried. I did my part. Right. And I think that's what Chris and what Zay saying, like, do your part. If he turns it down, then as a man, you can stand and say, bro, I tried to come out and then and extend my hand to see how you want it, to let you know what kind of man was going to be around your child. If you don't want to take it, then that's on him. Then the blame shifts to him and not to you. But see, what happens is Russell gave Future a way out because now Future can stand on it. You never talk to me. You never talk to me. Even if Future was gonna be an asshole about it, we'll never know because Russell never talked to him. And that's what happened when you don't draw that line in the sand and say, nah, I'm gonna do this. So I'm not gonna let you ever be able to say, I wasn't not a man enough to come to you and talk to you. Now, I've seen somebody say that we don't talk about we ain't never talk about
the fathers
before. And I think we was talking about that a lot.
Yeah.
We went far, and I said that I don't want to be around kids that I didn't meet their baby daddy, especially if it's women, because I didn't feel comfortable. In our previous show, you can check them out on YouTube, Spotify, and on Facebook if you missed an episode or so. Because I think we go over this. We're very consistent with our, because I want you to hold me accountable to what I'm saying, because this is real. My baby's mother is not hard to find. She can be reached at any point in time, and she'll tell you, I've met her boyfriends, because whether they like it or not, I wanted to meet them. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like sometimes it's out of your control. All you can do is do the best you can. But you can't use the excuse. I don't think he wasn't gonna say. I don't think he wasn't gonna meet me. Yeah, no, you can't do that now.
Yeah,
that's definitely an excuse.
I want to address the person that said it. Crayla Dips. She the one said it. She actually at me, Chris. That's why Russell didn't feel the need to talk to Future, because he felt that Future wasn't mature enough for the conversation. That ain't his motherfucking business. That ain't his place to say that. Your place is this. Have it. You look.
Sorry, Willie.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. Your place is to say, look, I'm with this woman, and I've been in the game a long time. I know women is not always everything that they say. So for me, I'm going to step to him. I am a 6'3", 200-some pound man. That man can't say nothing to me. I don't give a fuck if he don't want to hear me. I'm going to have something to say to him. I'm going to tell him, hey, look, this is what's going on, bro. I got to check that man's temperature. Period. As a man, I think that's what I have to check that.
That's
where you grew up. I tell you that. I think that's the culture you were raised in. See, like right now, it's some stuff that you can't even fathom not doing it that way, because those are rules and morals that's embedded in you because of where you come from. Just like it's some people, like, just for an example, when we was little, we didn't have any money. This was wrong or right. We felt the first thing we did is we didn't have a job is do what? Hustle. Like that's because where you from. But there's some people, that's never an option.
Right.
That's never an option. They're going to work 3 jobs. They're going to stand on the corner and ask for money. That's never an option. So I think I'm not saying what Russell did was wrong. It's completely wrong and blatant. But I can never hold a man accountable for him not knowing. Because then we all guilty of that, of stepping out on doing something that we didn't know. Because if you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
And then right now, I hold his friends around him. I hold the Seahawks accountable.
Yeah.
They should have checked him.
Somebody should have
said something.
When I first had my first child, Tootie gave me a lot of advice, stuff I didn't know. So if I was a shitty daddy, and Tootie already had a child, and then I'm a shitty daddy, then you got to say, damn, Tootie, did you even try to help him? Mm-hmm. See, so I think we got to hold each other accountable, because he was on a whole football team full of daddies from the hood, and nobody put him to the side and say, hey, Russell, I know you probably don't know this, brother, but you need to go holler at Future and explain to him the dynamic of why he should holler at Future, what it'll do. And if Future say, fuck you, then it's okay, Russell. You did your part. Let's come play on Sunday. But I don't think nobody did that. So, and I think that's a fucked up part too.
Yeah, very much so. I agree. I'm just say this: the sponsors didn't threw themselves out the window right now. We ain't got them no more.
Not on this one.
Not on this. They ain't gonna.
But you know what? Terrell said something. He was saying about, I think you had touched bases on it, about us not speaking or saying about, meeting children's father in the previous episode. But like Hard said, you know me personally, Terrell, I don't believe in it. If I'm rocking that way and you got a child, I got to make sure there's no friction between me and you. I got to make sure we on the same wavelength. Like Chris said, I got to check your temperature. And I'm also speaking as a father who that has happened to me, and I had to go and check somebody's temperature. Or we just had to have a man-to-man conversation. I'm not even gonna say check temperature, because it wasn't a macho man mono thing. It was a, boy, I'm a father and I have a daughter, so you need to talk to me, look in my eye, and get an understanding of who I am. We don't have to be friends, but we do gotta have an understanding. And that was something, like I said, with me and Chris, we just weren't rocking with him on that. I couldn't see past that to even get into the store. I'm happy for them that they have that going on, but there's certain things that happen that I don't even feel like, all right, you can't even down talk this man. You haven't had a conversation with this man first. You got to get that out of the way. So,
yeah, I think a lot of times a man, if you're a man, you got to know you might like her and you might be a little tender towards her, but you still have an obligation and responsibility to be a man. So, the baby mama, oftentimes when some women, they meet, the guys meet the women and she's going to trash the baby daddy. As a man, it's your responsibility. Hey, that's on y'all. You know what I mean?
Holler at that man.
Alexander was in the hall and no man banging the gavel at that guy doggone dude. Get him out of no man right now because he tripping.
And if you know you backdooring somebody woman, you have a responsibility. Listen, years ago, I was dating somebody, didn't never know, I never seen the kid. I'm sitting there one day and I'm like, damn, that look like Jimbo. I'm looking at the little boy like, look like Jimbo's son. You know what I mean? Hypothetical name. But hey, look, bro, I was over here. I didn't know that was your people. You know what I mean? And that's a conversation I respect as compared to somebody pulling up and seeing you. Now you look real foul and look like you didn't let the cat get you in a whole lot of trouble. You know what I mean? So I think we always have a responsibility as men to be men and lead in them situations. So that Future and Sierra situation can always go. I mean, there's still so many dynamics to that conversation. I know, me personally, I had an issue when I was seeing all the pictures at first of Russell with Lil Future and Sierra's like, oh, that's Papa. Go to Papa, Papa.
That's a problem. No, that's a problem.
Yeah, don't play with me like that. You know what I mean? And she knowing that Russell is still green enough, he don't understand the concept what's going on because he really just loved the little kid. But no, bro, there's boundaries to it. And Russell and Sierra got money, but on a lower economic level, man, that could turn out to be catastrophic. And somebody end up getting their head beat in at a local corner store. So those are the comments that I wanted to tackle tonight about that, because again, people look at celebrity relationships, whether it's this one, whether it's Will and August and the other lady Jada. People look at fantasy and reality TV and pattern themselves after that as goals, not knowing the dynamics that go into those relationships. And most of the time you only see what they allow you to see. So get out of the fantasy land and put that work in to get to know somebody, because relationships are not easy at all. It takes intention. It takes some work. So those are just my closing thoughts on that. Hey, closing thoughts as I go around the ham. I'm going to go first to King Chris.
Thank you.
I said it.
I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you. I didn't have a closing comment put together, but I want to just shed light on Black businesses and uplift Black people, Black men. I'm here in Orlando, and there's a place called the Bronze Kingdom. It is an art museum for authentic African art and African inspired art. They hold plays there. It's just a great experience. So if you're ever in Orlando, come to look up the Bronze Kingdom. Tell him Van Jay sent you. He's one of the premier artists at the Bronze Kingdom. He's also an OG that I speak to a lot. He lectures me a lot, and I just want to shed light on that. We want to use this platform to empower and promote Black business and Black men. Now, yes, we're going to talk about women too, but this is for the men. Zay?
As always, I'm just thankful y'all are here giving us y'all input. I am going to say this, put this disclaimer out. Fellas, if you're tuned in and you're watching, give us some of the things that are running around in your head that you would like to hear discussed on the forefront, and hear some women, their input back on it. Because our women, we appreciate you guys give us topics and things that are, in your brain that you want to hear guys speak on. But my guys, you guys, like ninjas, y'all tap in and y'all watch, and y'all tell us, give us good positive feedback, but y'all don't give us anything that's bothering your brain that you want to actually hear discussed, so that you can hear some different views on it. So I'm going to tell you guys to do that for me. Mario.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo what those guys said, that we appreciate y'all turning in every Monday. We ask y'all to spread the word, you know what I'm saying, to make this because we go as far as y'all take us. So the more y'all talk about this, the more y'all send this out, the more y'all talk about the magnificent job we're doing, the bigger show we'll get. Next thing you know, you'll see us on TV. You can say, man, I was with them from the beginning.
That's real.
If that's not an accomplishing feeling, then I don't know what is. To be started with somebody from the bottom. You can say we were actually with them shooting in the gym. Imagine that. But my last comment too is I want to do what Chris did. So if you know a black business, or if you know a strong black man, because I'm always this show is gonna focus on black men a lot. No disrespect to the women, but we feel like we need to uplift ourselves and pat each other on the back a little bit more, because right now y'all hold us accountable. We want to hold ourselves accountable to being the leaders that we know we are. So we do that by positive reinforcement and accountability. So as much as we tell men and straighten them, we want to also give them big ups too. So if you have a man or a black business that you know that's in the community that's really doing some good work, mentoring, or just being a good father, just going to work every day and taking care of his family, you can shoot that into the Black Super Friends page, and then we'll be sure to shoot them out, because we want to make sure that you don't have to throw the football, you don't have to dunk a basketball, you don't have to rap to be a good, strong black man and be a positive role model. So all you have to do is just let us know, and we'll get them a segment, at least in the closing comments. I shout them out, because we need us to do better, because we know that y'all need us. Horace?
Yeah. Quickly, I want to go around the horn. The Black Super Friends has turned out to be phenomenal, and we have been trending. We're getting calls from networks, so this is amazing. God bless. We appreciate it. We're doing different brand analyzation, looking at what's best for the brand and apparel. Tonight, we're trying out one of our different logos. So J&L Fashion in Riviera Beach, look her up on Facebook. She does screen printing and T-shirts. And I mean, I gave her this within 1 hour and she had it done. And we have an apparel line that's coming out, and I think it's going to be amazing. Second of all, I want to give a big ups to the homie, one of my most favorite people, our international travel buddy, Christina Peters, who has been on networks, and she has been amazing. I've seen her on a couple different platforms. I want to shout out one of her the Black Health Commission Incorporated, but you can catch her on Fox Soul. Look her up, the Girlfriend Therapist, on social media, because she is part of us and she's doing amazing things. So be prepared for our next show, which is Therapy Thursday or Thursday Therapy? Therapy Thursday.
Thursdays.
Yeah, man. I like to say.
Go ahead.
I think Katina is getting Hollywood now. All these shows, all these extra things she got going on. She acted totally different. We love you. We love you at the Black Super Friends.
And can we?
Next time you go on a nationally syndicated shirt, we're gonna give you a Black Super Friends handkerchief or something.
Yeah. We were shooting in the gym, remember?
And we have to give out one of our consistent viewers, Terrell Taylor McCray, who has been auditioning. Yeah. This is a black show, and he wanted to add in some light skin opinions on the show.
Lightning.
So we're gonna have to do a special show where we bring in our waffle colored brothers for episode.
He want to swing on us because he got a white wife.
Oh,
but we love her though. She's a part of it.
Yeah, we love you.
Well, take some Benadryl tonight and play sleep, because it's gonna be a long night for you, Terrell.
Those are your friends.
Yeah. So, and shout out to Troy Vaughn from Ringside and Darren Brown for Uncut with Darren Brown. Those are major podcasts that are allies to the Black Super Friends podcast. So we thank y'all. Riviera Beach to Orlando to Atlanta and all the way over into St. Martin. We love you. Check us out next week on Monday Night Raw from King Chris, the latest man, and Super Mario 561. I am your host.
Yeah.
Horace Town. So stay tuned